Hi, I'm Richie.
I'm Jeremy.
And this is Week in Review with Richie and...
Jeremy.
And this is episode...
18.
18! Woo! We can vote.
Yeah. What else can you do when you're 18?
We can get drafted. We can go fight for that flag on your shirt.
Yep. There's always going to be a flag on my shirt.
You know what you can't do at 18?
What can you not do at 18?
You can't buy cigarettes or vapes or any tobacco products.
When did that change?
I have no clue, but I had to look that up because you were saying, oh, you can buy cigarettes. I was like, no, you can't.
You can buy lottery tickets, though.
Yes, you can.
And you can gamble.
But you can't buy alcohol.
Right. Well, you can't. Well, where I grew up, you could.
Oh, my God, but you grew up in Canada.
That's right.
You Canuck.
You Canuck. You going to talk about my shirt? You like it? It's got American flag on it.
Oh, you and this American flag.
It is.
Anyway,
the
so
250th.
episode 18. Episode 18. We've made it to 18.
This is the 250th
Anyway,
year
so
of our
do we have a
country.
guest in the room with us? Notice I'm paying no attention to you and your shirt.
You know, I got my shirt.
Oh, jeez.
I got my shirt downtown. Guess
Oh,
where?
yeah? Downtown where?
Guess where?
Downtown America?
No, downtown Circleville.
Oh, downtown Circleville.
Guess where I got it from?
I don't want to guess.
Ink my logo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and they only have a few of these.
Oh,
It's
that's
really
weird.
cool. It's a really cool. They're not gonna have this print forever.
No?
So.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool one. And it's got Pumpkin Show on it. I love Pumpkin Show too. Pumpkin Show in America.
Do you know why he loves Pumpkin Show?
Why?
Because he has the Sayota Post.
That's right. And you know, nothing's cooler than watching them crane those pumpkins out of the pumpkin patch.
He used the word cooler.
It's so cool.
It's so neat.
so
It's like
cool.
totally gnarly, dude.
Anyway, we got a guest tonight, right?
We do. We do. We have in the room with us here at the studio, we have the Circleville mayor, Michelle Blanton, and she used to be a 6-year city council member.
That's correct.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what else?
You're not sure if
You know what else you can do at 18?
What's that?
You can run for mayor.
You can run.
You can run
mayor?
for. That's it. You can vote. You can run for mayor.
Look at that.
Are you,
What do
are you trying
know?
to say something?
No, I'm just saying.
18-year-olds out
that
there, you
can
gotta get
run
your
for
name on the
mayor.
ballot.
You can run for mayor. You can run for public office.
Didn't we have a kid that was like 18 run for office?
Close, I think.
And he was council member for a little while.
Are you talking about Zach
Are you
Brooks?
talking about Zach?
Zach Brooks, I think when he was 18 years old, I did a story on him, and he tried to run for
He was young.
either council or I think mayor, one of the two. I remember
Hey,
that.
Zach,
I did that
how you
interview.
doing? We miss you out
Good
here.
to see you.
I haven't heard of Zach forever. He needs to reach out to me.
Yeah.
So, what do we got on the agenda tonight?
I don't
That's
know.
what
What's
you're
this?
supposed to say.
What do we got? What's this week? What do we got this week,
So-
Jeremy? What happened in the week in
One
review?
of the really important things that has just started is the 100th day, deadliest days.
What, the 100 deadliest days of
Yeah,
what?
100 deadliest days. So from yesterday's date.
Is it like a competition of
From
like
100
6 million ways to die?
Well, it is because it's marked from OSP, Ohio State Highway Patrol, as the deadliest road crashes.
Oh, okay. That kind of deadliest days.
Yeah.
All right. That makes more sense.
Yeah, 384 deaths last year in these 100
Within
days.
100 days. And that's from
100
today,
days. From today,
Which
from
is-
yesterday.
which was the 7th?
Yeah,
So
until
June 7th
and
until-
then until 100 days from now.
Okay.
But these summer months and stuff are very dangerous on the roads.
So in other words, people out there, please be careful driving. Don't text and drive. Pay attention when you're on the roads. Don't speed. Don't drink and drive. Be
I
responsible.
do a lot of fatal crashes on the side of posts, and sometimes they're really, I mean, they're all tragic, but sometimes they're really, really tragic because they're really simply because of somebody not stopping for a stop sign and getting T-boned, or not looking out for motorcycles.
When you're out there being reckless, think about your loved ones.
There was
and
a
other
really
people's
bad
loved ones.
motorcycle crash last week, and there was a really bad motorcycle crash the week before. We need to really watch out for motorcycles, and
Loud
drive
pipes
safely.
save lives.
Right.
What else we got?
So down in Hockin County, they have they're employing drones down there to fly through the canyon and stuff to look for people and stuff.
To look for people or
Multiple
to spy on
times
people?
a year,
Like
they
they want to
have
see what somebody's
somebody
doing in
that
the
goes
cave?
that goes off trail and falls.
Oh, okay.
So then you know what they have to do? They have to do the whole. They tie a rope and they splunk down there and and grab them, and they helicopter them out and stuff. And sometimes it gets deadly. It's really bad.
Well,
So-
yeah, if you slip and fall, and
Right, because that cave, I don't know if you've ever been to Old Man's Cave, but it's 50 feet,
yeah, at least
and and none of that down there bounces,
no.
so it's pretty solid.
Somebody might, but that would be.
But
sad.
yeah, they got drones and stuff like that down there. And,
Interesting.
with the millions of people that are going to Hocking County nowadays, and coming through Circleville and going.
Where do you get
to
this
Hocking
number of
County.
millions and what kind of time frame? Or are you just throwing
No,
a number,
millions a year.
Are you just throwing a
It's-
number out there?
No, it's millions a
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Millions a year are going. It's become, I think,
is
USA
very
Today
popular.
had said that it's like a top 10 tourist attraction of the United States.
Oh wow.
It's rated up there. It used to be, and I'm gonna go back 10 years when I went down there for the first time or so. There was nobody there. And now you go there and the parking lots are full. You literally have to park across the street in the grass or whatever to get to Old Man's Cave. There's a lot of people that go there now. It's a tourist attraction. It's
Whether
heavy.
it's day trips or staying in the cabins, and more cabins are being built.
Yep.
A lot of
So they're-
Airbnbs and cabin stays.
Yeah, a
down
lot of
there.
Airbnbs
Right.
have been built
The
over the last.
property prices have gone up ridiculous in Hocking Hills
Yeah.
due to all of that. Yes.
Yeah, Jack Pine told me once when I was interviewing him that at the property that he had bought for his glass studio, it goes way back, and he says now I'm sitting on a fortune just in property, simply because of how much that property's gone up in value. He
Right.
bought it at the right time.
What else we got going on? What else has happened?
See, Juneteenth's right around the corner.
Who?
Juneteenth.
Oh yeah, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is right around the corner, and Chillicothe down there, they do the art show down there. They have a really cool event going on at the art show down there. I did a story on it.
We keep on mentioning about a lot of cool things going on in Chillicothe or Lancaster. Why is there never any cool things happening here in Circleville?
Well,
Mayor?
they do. Circleville had their first session of the movies, right?
We did.
Yeah, there we go.
We did Ohio Goes to the Movies at the public library. We had to move it because it was a torrential
Raining.
downpour.
Yes.
So thankfully the library allowed us to have that, and we played the movie Hold That Ghost, which if you're familiar with that movie, it has Ted Lewis at the beginning of it. He sang and was a main character at the beginning. Hold That Ghost is a comedic horror film.
I've never seen it.
Yep. So Abbott and Costello, it was one of many movies that they did during that time period.
Shout out to Molly Cruzman, Ohio Goes to Movies, and doing 250 films around all the
state.
counties in Ohio.
Yep.
Congratulations on him talking about the America 250. That's props for you.
Yeah.
America.
What else we got?
But no, that's really cool. And the next one is when?
So the next movie is this Friday night at Ted Lewis Park. We're showing Zootopia 2.
And you guys do popcorn there.
And
Popcorn.
this is not a
No, this is not
this is the
related to
regular
America
city.
America 250. This is just the city of Circleville's summer movie series.
It's not related to
Now we will have different vendors and things come and set up tables, and they may have some America 250 swag or something like that.
right, but this isn't an
But it's
Ohio Goes
not-
to the Movies.
It's not Ohio Goes to the Movies.
No, and to be fair, Asheville does theirs, and I think Commercial
Here we
Point
are,
and
talking about
South
other cities
Bloomfield
again.
are kind of doing theirs
Yes,
too.
they
So,
are.
that
South Bloomfield.
you check out their Facebook pages, you'll see some of that information. It's
Yep.
really cool. I think it's really cool. You guys kind of started that.
We did. Asheville did a couple of them through, I think, the month of July. And so when I came in office, it was something that I thought we could do in the park. And we had money donated to buy the equipment. And so shout out to everyone who's donated to that cause.
Nice.
Everything from the food to the equipment to the movies being sponsored is all donations from a variety of people throughout the community. So
Oh, sweet.
it's a true
And it's been pretty
community
popular
effort.
too.
It has been.
There's
It has
been,
been.
well, I've gone to a couple of them, and they've
Yep.
been pretty packed.
Yep. Popcorn, hot dogs, pizza, a variety of food. Sean Pan comes from the Hampton, and they do
They do waffles, right? They do waffles,
They do
man.
waffles.
And they
So-
put like
Whipped cream.
whipped cream and sprinkles and stuff on them.
Yep. So
Yeah, that's fun.
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's stuff happening in Ted Lewis Park.
Everything's happening in
And
Lewis Park.
and the water parks are on now.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Sweet. What else we got going on?
So,
By the way, let's see how many times Jeremy says "cool" this episode.
it's cool. It's cool. You know what? I don't.
what?
Really cool one that they
Here
have.
we are. Cool.
The State House just approved discounts for vets and people that are active military for our parks and stuff.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really cool one. They're doing discounts and stuff. So people that are camping or people that are doing things in our parks, now that if you're a military veteran or if you're active duty, you can get a special discount.
Oh, nice.
So
Shout out to all the military families. Thank you for your service.
Yep. Under the new law, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources is required to provide a minimum of 25% discount. So it's a significant discount.
Oh wow.
So
25%
I think
pretty big.
think that should be across the board when it comes to like fishing license, hunting license, those kind of things. I think that you should get.
Right in the free country of America.
Yeah.
You got to pay for everything.
It's so funny. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. I also think that people that retire should get a free fishing license, free hunting license. I think once you pay your dues, you should get
I don't
that.
disagree with you at all.
So,
What else we got going on?
well, let's talk about council. Well, not council, but the judicial meeting tonight in council was tonight.
Oh, they were supposed to vote on the marijuana.
Right. They were talking about the marijuana.
Did they flake out? Because that
No.
seems to be a trend for them.
No,
They don't
no.
want to stand on a line. They don't want to make a decision.
So
Let's pass let's keep on pushing this down so somebody else does something before we have to make a decision. That seems to be their MO.
Well, I think that's at an end.
Oh,
I think
really?
that-
Is that an end?
I think
Well, what
it's at
happened
an
tonight?
end. Kaliska brought it up.
Okay.
And of course, Sherry Tice wasn't there tonight. I think she's on vacation.
Okay.
So that caused a little bit of an issue where they couldn't push it forward. But he was talking positively about
So
it.
it didn't get the votes to move forward to go to council.
But it should Monday.
So they have to redo it again. Okay. So once again, we are pushing it a little bit forward
little
still.
bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
That tracks.
But
that tracks.
but you know, he talked really positively about it. You know, he talked about that if we don't allow a marijuana dispensary in Circleville, most likely that could end up at our doorstep anyway. You know, Circleville Township, which, you know, Walmart and that whole area down there, that's all Circleville Township. So we don't
And then
necessarily,
we would
the
get
city of
no
Circleville
tax
doesn't.
dollars from it.
Well, you wouldn't get tax dollars from it, and you'd still get it.
Right. It'd still be here, and we get no benefit from it.
So
Sort of like Walmart.
Walmart. So, and then
We
the
get no
mayor,
tax
of
dollars
course,
from Walmart.
the mayor said something really positively. What'd you say in council to Kliska?
Yeah, so we put them, or I didn't, but council did. They put the moratorium in place so that they could do their due diligence to research it. And so we started that conversation about a year and a half to 2 years ago. Our first call was to the Department of Commerce, and we talked with them about everything that the state did. And then that snowballed into having different dispensaries come in to tell us about their proposal, what they were looking for. And then Klitschko had a series of meetings that he held, town halls around the community, inviting people to come and talk about it. And I think that allowed council members to learn more about everything that dispensaries have to go through. It's highly regulated in the state of Ohio
Right.
to open a dispensary, from cultivation to distribution, everything. There are cameras everywhere. It's highly regulated.
Right.
I think that one of the guys that was representing one of the marijuana dispensaries that came in said that the government can actually even get into their cameras and
Correct.
and look real time,
Correct.
which is just crazy to me.
Yep.
But they're supposed to check you got to make sure that they're of age, and I think they check them twice before they sell,
Yes.
and
then they check you once when you walk in, and then once before
once
they sell
when you're
you.
purchasing.
Right.
Yep.
And their facilities, they can't have any type of insignia on the back, the outside of them here that, you know, talks about, you know, what it is. And so
No signs for
a
product
very,
and
a
things
very,
like that.
a very good ordinance proposed for allowing a dispensary, one dispensary. Because, you know, they can only be
1 mile,
They
right?
can be 1 mile apart from each other and so many feet from schools, churches, parks, libraries, those types of things. So when you're thinking about the city and the places in which we want to have them, we want to have them in general business districts. There are other districts within the city that they can go in, but when you look at those districts, that distance between those places goes down.
Right.
So,
and there was like 4 places. Wynn talked tonight. There was like 4 places, and one of those places was suggested by one of the marijuana dispensaries. It's that little place there by Ollie's, right?
By Ollie's?
Aldi's.
Aldi's, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's right there. It used to be like a
dog feed store.
Dog feed store.
The PBS.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
At the
PBS.
end of that,
Yeah.
at the end of that shopping.
Yeah. So that was
PBS.
one of the ones that they said that they were
Pickwick
interested in.
Crossings.
I think one of the other places didn't really have a location. They were going to kind of let the city kind of point what they wanted to buy a place and renovate it versus building their own.
Cheaper.
Correct.
And then another place Wynn said tonight was up by Ollie's.
Yes.
The north end, the one in downtown, right? I don't remember what the 4th one was.
I would imagine the other general business district that we have is really on the east side where Big Lots and things like that, but you get really close to the school when you're over there on that side.
Yeah.
So,
Because you have to be so far away from the school you guys are running it.
correct.
So are you guys, is the city, not you guys, is the city kind of shooting themselves by only allowing one where strategically they can do one on the south side, one on the north side and kind of service? Like, does it mean that if they pass for one now and somebody else wants to open up another one, there'll be a whole bunch of more meetings and more hoops instead of just allowing 2 and designating 2 separate areas?
I would say doing one right now is probably the best idea because
It's taking forever to get here?
it allows us to live with it,
Right.
for a period of time to then decide, do we want to have another one in another location within the city?
Because having
it's
two,
it's a change.
Having 2, I mean, you might still have the same tax dollars from sales tax and other tax, but having 2, you have more jobs, which then it has more income tax for the city, and you have more employment for people as well. So there's a benefit to having 2 locations as well because it adds more jobs and more
It does
income.
provide competition, but I would say probably baby steps kind of at this point.
Yeah, because I think different dispensaries get
And
different
Chillicothe
products.
only has one, right?
Well, for every region, you're only allowed so many,
I think Chillicothe has
dispensaries
2
and,
now.
and places.
I don't.
things
Maybe.
like-
I'm not sure.
I'm not familiar with Chillicothe, what they have. I know they at least have one. So
I know they have
I'm
one
not
on
sure
Bridge
if they
Street.
have- I don't know if they have 2 or not.
And their the taxes that brought in to Chillicothe, I think I did a story, and it was like $300,000 a year, right?
Yeah, so it's like 3.5% excise.
We could use that for safety forces and not have to get more levies.
Wow. I mean, but really, I mean that's money, and that goes right into the city.
It does.
Yeah. So you
It
can
does.
use that for whatever.
For safety
Distri-
forces
it's
and get rid of
distributed
levies.
to us, and then we can also use it for other things. I mean, if we wanted to impact prevention, a portion of those dollars could be allocated for that, similar to the opioid funds, where you're putting that back into prevention. That's an option that we have.
I actually and said that to Tom Kliska. I feel like a portion of it should go into
And we have a great, we have PAC, and PAC has come and they've talked positively about the things that they are doing to impact the younger generation.
For people who don't know, what is PAC?
PAC is the Pick Away Addiction Action Coalition. And so they go into our school. They work with all of our county schools to work with kids on safe habits, mental health, and those kinds of things. So you'll see probably some more events coming up with their rock group, which is Roots of Change. It's all student led. They have an Amy Reimer is an advisor, and you have Susan Metzler that works with them. And so you're going to see them out in the community a little bit more. They held the Be the Change rally at the fairgrounds and at Ohio Christian.
And they have, and all the schools have kind of a heavy DARE program too, right?
Yeah, kind of like Drug Free Club of America is the high school version of kind of DARE.
And they even give those kids drug tests.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
And if you sign up for that and you're like, hey, because my kiddo was
Random.
in it, and I had to sign a waiver saying that I would allow that. Yep.
Yep.
I said, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
So we'll find out Monday. So next week we'll be talking about if the city is finally passing it on to city council or not,
Yeah.
or are they just going to twiddle their thumbs some more and keep on standing by?
I don't think they
doing
can.
nothing?
You know, you can't just keep pushing that down the road.
If
You
they
just can't.
Now, if
We
they don't
have-
get a vote again, if they don't get a vote again, then what happens? Then it gets pushed down the road again, and then it gets pushed down the road again.
It doesn't
think
work that way.
I think by the end of the summer you'll see legislation passed.
But let's talk about the big news.
Big news.
The big news is
What's the big news?
it's finally happening. I wrote it last week. It's finally happening.
What's happening?
The state has given us, the city of Circleville, $2 million to build a pool.
They have.
And they're building a pool.
Whoa, slow down. The state gave $2 million to help assist to build a pool.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. It's $2 million that we don't have to pay for.
Because how much is it going to cost to build the pool?
$7 million.
$7 million. So we are a third of the way there ish.
So,
Little
wait a
bit
minute.
under a third of the
Before we
way
get there, let's talk
25%
about where
of
the
the way?
pool's going to go.
Yeah. So we know that Ted Lewis cannot support a pool. It is in a floodplain. The earth was moving to the point where it was constantly cracking. There was a lot of maintenance dollars that went into that pool. It is not a place for a pool.
And that's the reason why they shut down the pool that was in Ted Lewis, right?
That and operations and maintenance. I
Repairs
think there
and
were
whatnot,
there
yeah.
was a plethora of reasons why, the pool was closed down. Now you guys know that pool was not originally a city pool.
Correct.
It was a private pool that was built, and then the city ended up buying it. And then eventually the city leased it, the management of it, to the YMCA. And so they kind of ran it with the lifeguards and different things like that. And then in about 2013, you saw different pools throughout be closed until they got to the last one. And then they closed that one, and then they filled it all in.
Yeah.
So where's this pool going?
This pool is going to Barthamus Park.
Okay.
And so it's part of a much larger project at Barthamus Park. A few years ago when I was on council, we purchased additional acreage
Right.
to the southeast of the original Barthamus
and it about
land.
doubles the space.
It about doubles the space, and so that's a very highly used athletic field facility out there. You have pickleball courts, which we're getting more of those at that park.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to the Pickleball Association.
And they're
for
the
your
ones that are
work.
paying for the
They
pickleball
are.
courts.
They're getting that. They're applying for grant dollars and things like that. So they're working really hard. The basketball courts are being moved. You have the soccer fields out there. Baseball, t-ball is out there.
A new basketball court. So the basketball court's being moved, and a new
Yeah.
one's being put.
We're
right,
we're
correct.
moving the basketball courts to build new ones. There are some concessions out there, but then the second side of that, we would like to build 4 softball/baseball diamonds in a complex with concessions in the middle, with sidewalks and stuff separating them, so that families with kids in multiple sports can be in the same facility. You're not driving from one side of town to the other to try to pick up a kiddo from one practice, trying to get another kid to a game. So we'd like to kind of make that our athletic facility. And so it's part of a much larger plan. But the pool, the aquatic facility itself, is about $7 million for that. And the way that it's designed is it has a slope for ADA compliance.
Okay.
So you'll be able to walk right into the shallow end, and there will be some water features. And then you have
Water features like a splash pad kind of
yeah,
thing?
like a splash
Oh,
pad,
that's
kind
neat.
of like Groveport has.
I've never been to the Groveport
Okay,
one.
so Groveport has some water features where the water comes like buckets up and things like that. So that will be in that section. And then you'll have a little connection that goes around kind of like a lazy river that goes into like the racing deeper end of the pool. And all of that was kind of designed and brought forward by different people throughout the community. So we had public meetings that we had at the park where we invited people to come to talk to us about what they would like to see in that facility. We talked to the swim teams at the local schools because currently all of them are using the Y. And we talked to the Y because, they have the pool at the Y.
Right.
And they currently work with that. So all of those people came together to kind of create a vision, cast a vision for what this facility would look like. There's a shelter facility that has showers and bathrooms and lifeguard station and all of that. So all that section of it, without parking, is about $7 million to build it.
So is this going to be staffed? You're going to have...
So wait, hold on, before we get to all of that. So $7 million to build the pool.
Yep.
And then you said parking and all that. So give me a rough, like, $10 million to do the whole project for the pool area?
I would say probably 9.5, but you call it 10.
Okay.
If you
so we got $2 million that came from the state.
$2 million that came from the state.
Where is the city gonna get the other $8 million?
So fair question. A portion of that is going to have to come from the city taking out a bond or a loan to be able to pay for that, and so that breaks it up over a period of time. So you're looking at probably about $3.5 to $4 million will be funded by the city, if approved. This is a proposal that's going to go before council, and at least the money figures and things like that they'll speak into. And then the rest of it we're looking to fundraise for. So we're looking for ways that that we can ask people for, naming rights, those types of things for the facility that they can show their investment in the community as our community grows.
Now you said go to council, so it has, you got the $2 million, but the whole project, has the project been approved by council yet?
So it has, if you want to say approved. I don't know that there's been an ordinance that has been passed, but we are, those funding mechanisms are done on an individual basis as we develop the funding language and things like that.
So now let's let people know that this pool's not going to be here next year.
No, it's not. So you're looking at least 18 months of engineering, earth moving, final renderings for... the facility itself, because right now it's a concept,
right.
And we've gotten a little feedback on some sharp edges that if we soften some of those edges, it may allow us to lessen the number of staff that would be required, because they're not hidden. Like
right.
If somebody falls and they're behind a wall, you want to make sure that you have enough people to see past all of those corners. So if we soften those corners a little bit. So as we get through the engineering and design, final design, we may see that number come down a little bit or go up, to be fair. But then all of that will go to council.
So question for you.
Hold on. And then also making sure you could get the money to pay for the project.
Yes.
Is all of that. So there's still a lot of moving parts involved in this.
Yeah.
We still got to raise the rest of the money.
Yeah.
Drawings have to come in. Council has to approve. All these things still have to happen in order for us to get a pool.
Yep. You're looking at the 2028 season, if not 2029. For it to be open.
So here's my question. Why are we building a pool? Why?
So we're building a pool. It is something that...
I like that you're smiling right now.
From the time that I've been on council, we've heard that people had great memories that they had at Ted Lewis. They remember themselves going there as kids with their families. They talk about the memories that they have. But at the same time, they have to understand that it costs to build something from scratch, and it costs to maintain it, and it costs to operate it. And so one of the questions that we get are similar to what I'm getting right now, similar to what Richie's asked already, is, well, how are you going to pay for the rest of it, and how are you going to operate it? So, we have some different funding mechanisms that we have in place right now. As new developments are coming in, they are required to join the new community authority that's citywide. And those new community authority dollars are fees that those property owners pay on an annual basis to the city for coming.
And you just had one just put the shovels in the ground right out there by the
Correct.
school, right?
Correct. And so those funds come in, and there's a board that says what those funds can be used for. The main two ways that those funds are used are for infrastructure, so your roads, water and sewer, and parks. And so as more people come, people want good quality of life. They want places to go. They want to be outside. They want to take their kids places. And so what better way to possibly use those funds than to go for operations of a city municipal pool, right? And so then the other part of that is you can use, you have the income that the pool brings in, albeit may not be $500,000.
So when you say income of the pool coming in, this is a public pool, but it's not a free pool.
No, it's not a free pool. There's going to be daily rates that people will pay to get into the pool. We don't have the full structure, but it may have weekly rates, summer rates.
Was the Ted Lewis Park pool free?
No.
I don't believe so.
It hasn't. I don't think it was free from the time that it was built. Even as a private facility, it was called the Circleville Swimming Club, and you had to pay to become a member of that facility. So there will be fees that people will pay. There will be resident rates, and then there will be non-resident rates. And so
that's cool.
People from all over will be able to come and use this. And again, the reason I smile, you talk about smiling. I don't know what you guys did when you were kids, but I loved going to the public pool when I was a kid.
I swam in lakes.
You know?
We had lakes.
We had pools in our backyards.
I remember walking across town because I lived on one side of town. The pool was on the other side of town. We would walk there. We would walk there before lunch. We would get there. It would open. We'd be there all day, get a snack at the concessions, and then walk back across town.
We didn't have public pools
I'm glad
in
you
Brooklyn.
brought that up because I actually went with you.
Yeah.
Up there, and we looked at the pool.
We did.
In your hometown,
Yes.
right? It still operates, and it's been operating. What was that one? That one was like 1920 or something.
It was early.
It was early, but we went there, and you discussed with the mayor because you met with the mayor there, and you discussed the pool, right?
Yeah.
And how they keep it going, and the money behind it. And they have like 4 pools there, right?
Yeah. So they have a diving pool. They have the main pool that's like 3 to 5 feet. They have a racing pool, an ADA compliant pool, a baby pool, and a splash pad.
Yeah.
And they have volleyball nets where you can play sand volleyball.
Let's play devil's advocate. We got the money can come from the NCA, and everything else like that, and we're paying off the loans, and we're getting money for the maintenance or the daily operation of it through memberships. Let's say there's an economic downtime. Or something like that. Could there be a scenario, and I know you can't say yes or no and indefinitely, but could there be a scenario where could have to be levies in the future to have to support paying for some of this and coming out of more taxpayer dollars?
I mean, I think anything is possible, Richie. I mean, for a plethora of reasons. You have different councils, you have different economic situations. Depending on where we are in this project will determine if it continues or not. Like, if something happens tomorrow, the pool just doesn't happen.
So then what happens to the $2 million?
The $2 million goes back to the state.
So if we don't complete the pool project, do we have a time frame?
So you can get reappropriations from the state for these kinds of projects, but it's not indefinite. You're not going to be able to consistently, because as we saw with this capital budget, and shout out to Representative Stewart and Senator Reynolds for their work, there's a finite amount of money that they're able to give. And for the state of Ohio, all 88 counties received some funding through this capital appropriation. And you saw a few weeks prior to this vote that they're doing, the Senate has already voted, the House votes tomorrow. we saw that there were some reappropriations from projects that weren't completed in the last capital bill that were reappropriated for this capital bill.
So they just said, okay, you can still have it, but just now
so it's
the
just
time's
moved.
up, we'll just move it over.
Yeah, we'll just move it. And
so there's that if this project gets stalled, as long as it's still working in the midst of happening, they'll reappropriate the $2 million.
Hopefully.
But if the project stops for whatever reason, then we don't get the $2 million.
We could, it could be reallocated to the state. And the other piece of that is, there's always the chance to go back for more. And ask for, additional dollars if there's a specific, a parking lot or, even for the regular build out of the pool, we can ask for additional funds.
What would be really cool, and I've said this, a dome or retractable dome, so you can use that pool all year round instead of 3 months out of the year. I know there's a larger upfront cost and whatnot.
Yeah.
But a more functionality of things would be sweet. But I know that's not in the picture, so
sure.
But
there are some different ways that you can make, outdoor pools 4 seasons and with doors and things like that, that we've seen. The other thing that I get a lot of questions about is, with it being at Barthamus, is how are people going to be there?
Sure.
How are people going to get there?
That's
right?
a big question that I've seen.
So,
because I've seen some comments about people like, why couldn't that be downtown, or why couldn't it be at Ted Lewis, where kids could walk to it and whatnot? We know why it can't be at Ted Lewis.
Right. So before we even applied for this money, the city received some TAP dollars through the Ohio Department of Transportation. We received about $900,000 to build a 10-foot multi-use path along East Ohio Street.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to go from the Pickup Project all the way down to Kingston Pike. And then if you look at Kingston Pike, if you go about halfway down between the tree line and the apartments, there's a path already there in between fences. So that's going to line up to where people can cross Kingston Pike to be able to walk back into Barthamus Park. So
people have to cross the street with oncoming traffic. Will there be a traffic light? And
whatnot?
Or maybe an overpass would be a walkaway over.
Well, Richie, when you're talking about funding,
do it right.
Building a bridge over the road, whereas you could put, those the lights that you see on South High Street where you push the button and it flashes. I think that would be a decent way to put something in there since that light was taken out. But for those people in the community who are concerned about kids walking to Barthamus, we are looking to put that path in, and that money has been appropriated to us. We were awarded that, I think, about two years ago, maybe longer.
Oh, nice.
So this is part of a
ongoing project, larger ongoing project,
larger facilities project, trying to get it to work.
Stuff for kids to do. So I remember when you came on council, and one of the biggest things that we talked about, remember we were talking about the Everett's building.
Yep.
And Everett's building was a big deal because everybody wanted to utilize that building because it had a big basketball court in it that people could use all year round, and it had all this space, and it was something for kids to do. Look at how we've came from that. Ted Lewis Park now has a water park in it. It's got playgrounds in it for kids. We have a couple of places for kids to do stuff. We have a basketball court right down there by Corwin. Things are changed. We got that big one it's outside the city, but we have a big park outside the city that has zip lines.
Oh yeah, Canal Park.
Yeah,
Canal Park, yes.
And just a lot of
That's
fun
not a
things.
city park though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a county park.
But things have changed, haven't they?
They have.
They've progressed.
We've progressed a little bit, and our city planner Hannah Wynn and Jim Stanley, with the permission of council to apply for these grants, has gone out and received grants from the state for additional parkland. We have the North Court Street Park. You have the Pickaway Street walking trails that will hopefully connect the trail that comes in from New Holland through the west side of the city, connect it to through Pickaway Street over to the Y, and then eventually it'll go to OCU and hopefully go out to Mary, Virginia. So that all of the parks then will be connected, so you can get from one recreation area, outdoor recreation area, or passive recreation area, all the way to the other side.
You notice she mentioned everybody else, but didn't even mention her own park commissioners or park board?
Thank you, Richie, for serving on the park board.
There is two other people.
And Megan Travis and Eugene Ragland, thank you for your service.
And past members as well.
Yes. There has really been a lot of work when it comes to parks.
And you guys are actually working on another park in downtown Circleville too, right? I mean, you guys are just about that little pocket park right there off of Pickaway.
Oh, yes, the trails. That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Where the trail will hopefully connect over to get to the Y to get on the Roundtown Trail.
Yeah.
We're currently in the middle of an active transportation plan, which is additional grant dollars that we got for that to do that plan. And what that will do is provide us with feedback and direction on where to put additional sidewalks in areas where there are no sidewalks, because sidewalks have not always been required to be put in front of properties.
Sure.
And so that's why you have areas of grass with no sidewalks. Bike lanes on wider streets, where can we put those to make bike paths for people who come into the city?
We talk about that, like on Pickaway Street at one time and whatnot.
Yeah, your wider collector streets like Mound, Pickaway, Washington, Court, Atwater, especially once it goes all the way through, and Georgia, those types. But even roads like Northridge that like connect those roads together, you may see possibly, depending on the results of that project. And so we're getting ready to kick that off. You'll start seeing some community meetings to talk to community members about that project. But it's really about moving it forward and the quality of life for the people the residents who are here and those who are looking to come here.
So just to recap for all you people out there who've seen the story in the Saturday Post and was like, "Ooh, we're getting a pool next year." We are not getting a pool next year. The $2 million is just a portion of the money needed to build the pool, and the project is pushed out to at least 2028, 2029, potentially, depending on all the other hoops and things we have to jump through to raise the money and everything else. So please,
hey, Richie,
realize it's going to take a little bit of time, so be patient.
Richie, so now we have a pool and a steakhouse.
Yeah. Now what are people going to complain about?
So what are people going to complain about?
Well, it's not a steakhouse they want. That's what they'll complain about. Or it's not or the next complaint will be, what do you mean it's going to take to 2029 to get a pool?
So here's what I'll say about that. So when you're talking about economic development, anywhere that you look for those things to come, you're looking at...
Wait. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. But the other thing they'll complain about is, but wait, it's a city pool. I pay tax dollars. What do you mean I got to have a membership?
So back to what I was saying. Thank you, Richie.
You're welcome.
So back to what I was saying is, when those people are looking to come here, they're looking at different factors. They're looking at rooftops, because they need to see that the possible population is there to fund and support their business. So when you're looking at a steakhouse, you used to be able to go on Texas Roadhouse and look at their site selection document, and it told you exactly how many people needed to drive by their restaurant in order for it to be successful.
Right.
The same is true for things like grocery stores. And if you shout out to, Ryan Scribner and Nate Green, who worked at P3, and Brian and Tiffany doing that work now with, and Tim Colburn, but every time that, they were asked about those things, they would say it's all about rooftops. And so now, as we're starting to see some of these rooftops come in county-wide, not just here in the city of Circleville, but county-wide, you're going to see some of those other things coming here. We're kind of already seeing it. You're seeing the development around Walmart.
Fight Club is coming.
Although it's not
Waffle
in the
House.
city.
Waffle House.
Waffle House. Culver's, But even the Valvoline and the Bojangles, like that's because those chains are starting to see the potential of growth here in this region, and especially going up and down 23.
Well, especially since we haven't had a population growth in the past 10 years. We stayed stagnant at 13,000.
Right.
So when you look at that, if you look at as a business, if you look at the past 10 years and you see there's been no population growth or very little thereof, why would you want to bring your business there, knowing when you see that other businesses have closed and have left because of the lack of growth? Now we have growth happening. We finally have housing coming and other things, and we see this. You are going to eventually start seeing businesses come.
And once you start seeing employers that are going to come in, you're going to need places for those people to sleep at night. And so that's why you're seeing...
And then things for the kids to do.
Parks and trails.
And pools.
Ways for them to be out. And that's why it was so important for us. It was just passed in the housekeeping budget from the city about putting some money towards the trail at the housing development over by the school. Like, it was really important that that housing development be connected to that, a path go from that housing development back to the Round Town Trail. And so we asked for them to put that in. And so they're going to do that. You're going to have that trail that goes from those houses back there. And
now that Round Town Trail is part of the county, not the city.
I think I think it's technically part of the county park district, but it is it connects the city
two
sections of the city. But yeah, they worked very hard on that.
Ever since Victor Drive got connected in my housing development, all I see is walkers now and kids riding bikes and stuff down those roads.
Do they use the sidewalks?
No, they don't use the sidewalks. I'm gonna take those out. But they just ride. It's nice to see people walking and getting out and stuff, and I think it's really important. And I think you're right. I think with housing, there has to be parks and it has to be walking trails and stuff because people want that stuff. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We're excited. It takes a village.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Or a city.
Or a city.
That's what I got, Richie.
That's what you got. Residents of the city. That's all you got?
That's what I got.
Well, I want to thank Mayor Blanton for coming in and joining us and talking to us about the up-and-coming pool in the future and whatnot. And I think that's all I got.
So this week, there's a festival. Commercial Point has their homecoming festival.
Oh, yeah?
It starts on Wednesday night tonight.
It
starts on Wednesday night.
Oh, you're not going to tell me?
It runs into the weekend.
Okay.
Really kind of cool. It's not weekend review, I know.
What else? Anything?
No, I just wanted to throw that in there. Just go out and enjoy these local festivals. I think they're really cool.
Yes.
I said cool again.
Yes, please let us know how many times he said the word cool. Because he said it a bunch of times in the beginning of this episode. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us for the Weekend Review with Richie and Jeremy, episode 18. You can also catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Round Town Radio, and YouTube.
Awesome.
Great.
See you guys next week.
Thanks.